You have just entered the KBMOD podcast. Keyboard plus mouse or die.
Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 16 of the KBMOD podcast.
Can't believe it.
I know, right? Throw it in there, Dan. Can't believe that this is episode 16. This is it's been awesome so far. As I've said, most weeks your guys' support on this has been great and overwhelming. I'm really excited about today's episode. This is kind of trial by fire for one of our guests on here because this is the first dev we've had on so far, and he's been gracious enough to come on and talk about his game. And his name is Jared and Jared Gerritzen, right? Or did I butcher that?
Gerritzen.
Oh, Gerritzen.
Damn it.
Oh, I knew I was going to screw it up, man. Jared Gerritzen and with Blacklight Retribution. How you doing, Jared?
Good, thanks.
Thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. And we got our normal cast and crew. We got Dan down there, who you heard interject earlier. We've got John and we've got Brandon. How's everyone doing this week? Let's recap our gaming experiences as they've been.
Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
so
me and Dan.
alone, forever alone over here.
No, it's not you, dude. I haven't gotten it yet either. I was holding out,
Playing
man.
Counter-Strike Source. That's what you've been doing.
That's about it, man. But I've been holding out for the whole. I didn't want to give in to the Origin thing. I heard mixed things on Battlelog. It's like gonna hold out, but Dan, you're doing the same thing, right? I mean, are you gonna buy it? What's the deal?
I said when it got patched a little bit, I'm a little scared of Battlelog right now. So.
Yeah, I bought it tonight. It's currently downloading, so I kind of gave up. But
what
have your guys' experiences been so far on Battlefield? You guys liking it or?
It's good.
It's good.
It's Battlefield.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It very much feels like Battlefield.
Yeah, the worst part of it is that I'm using my old 5870 on my computer right now, so I've had to play on low, but I'm really looking forward to turning the graphics up because that's probably the best part of the game.
Just that and going prone in Operation Metro. Those two things are very good.
Going prone everywhere.
The best part of the game is you're at a huge disadvantage if you don't play on low.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything's just too pretty and you can't see people at all. So play on low and it's beautiful.
And even
Have
on
you
low.
tried playing with friends yet, though? Like actually connecting with a
through
party?
It can be frustrating.
Connecting with a party and keeping the party and then actually playing on the same team as your party? Like, that's the crazy part.
Yeah, they definitely have some kinks to work out with Battlelog. But I'm surprised that Battlelog has actually functioned for as many people as it has.
Didn't crash. I was expecting a crash.
Oh, and it's Jared's executive producer there, Andy Kipling, at Zombie, was raging so hard on Twitter today.
If only I really wanted to record it. He was really, really angry. And it wasn't the normal anger where we just kill him all the time and laugh at him. He could not get could not connect to us. And then when he connected to us, it would put him on the other team. And then he would just sit there trying to figure out how to even join stuff. It was very comical. But from what I understand, that seems to be everyone's problem. And with that type of game, like if you can get a good squad, you're gonna just do great because you're spawning on each other and you're able to, tactically do what you're supposed to do, what the game's supposed to, allow you to do. I've been lucky and been able to do that with a few of the guys in the office. And that's been a great experience. But today, when like three of us were connected and we were yelling at Andy because he couldn't connect, he was pretty pissed off. It was quite funny. So it's also a comedy game, So it's great for the kids.
You get the stress relief on your guys end there for you guys. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
There is nothing worse like that helpless feeling when your friends are having fun and no matter what you do, you can't join them and have fun with them. That's like one of the most annoying. Yeah, I can see his anger.
It's like when you're playing Counter-Strike.
Exactly, John.
Nobody in their right mind could have fun playing that game.
Oh man, what you were all high on it the other day, and now you're trashing it. What's going on?
John's bipolar.
He really is, dude.
No, I'm not. I love COD 4 still.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I haven't been playing Battlefield 3.
Yeah. What have you been? You've been playing Hard Reset, haven't you?
I've been playing Hard Reset, and I've been playing, of course, Blacklight because had no idea I was going to get into that beta, obviously, but been good. And then been playing Alter IW a lot for some reason.
Yeah, we have been, actually. Me too.
Lots of Modern Warfare 2 for no reason at all. Just going Grizz on Scott. Putting up videos of it.
Putting up videos of shooting me in the face. Yeah, my reaction. Someone would make I was saying not make a killing, but if someone could just make a normal server in Alter IW that didn't have 100 stars and numbers in front of the server title and was like just really simple, or like had domination, TDM, and like gun game, and was easy to find. I'm telling you, man. Maybe that'll be a project. Maybe we'll get some KBMOD servers up for Alter IW. Yeah. Because that's a nightmare trying to find. And then, like, when you refresh, apparently there's a way you can get the IPs for the servers. I don't know. Like, I'm hearing mixed things. You definitely can. On the server. Yeah, sometimes it displays it, sometimes it doesn't. But, yeah, so that can be frustrating. But it's been fun.
That's the price you pay for some dudes who took some code.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not really worried. Because, dude, I get patches on Alter IW all the time, man. They're still patching it. So, that's good. Sweet. All right. Well, that sounds good. What about for the news, Dan, this week? You want to recap a little bit before
we got a few things.
Get a few things to talk about. Yeah.
We now interrupt your scheduled programming to bring you an urgent broadcast from the front lines of America.
First thing I'm going to talk about is something awesome, because we were involved with that Extra Life live streaming stuff back on October 15th. Yep. I don't know if you've heard of this, Jared, the Extra Life charity, but it's yeah, our website made a team for that, and we've raised about $34,000 or something so far with our team. So, but these guys, this is it Munch Gamer? Is that his YouTube channel?
Yeah, Munch Gamer, Torak, Andrew, and Kevin.
They raised they did a second 24-hour live stream last week and raised $8,000 more for the team.
They're insane.
Those dudes are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Thanks to them, and thanks to the whole community for coming out for this whole thing. You still got 2 weeks to donate if you want to get us up above Tryon Worlds and help some kids. So
definitely.
So we were really pumped about seeing that happen again. Next thing of our news items, Just Cause 3, rumored to come out next year or in the next little while. Man, I want Just Cause 3. Yeah, I just want to grappling hook everything. I don't care about anything else. I just want to do that.
I think I've not had more fun than watching Just Cause 2 grappling like montages, or like if you go on YouTube, or just like the absolute epic destruction, like grappling to a barrel, then shooting it and flying like thousands of feet in the air. It's incredible.
Yep.
I just hope they don't fix the grapple to the ground thing. Like that's the biggest.
Yeah, that's the biggest.
It's broken, but it's awesome because of that.
Yeah.
And so like that's my biggest concern, because I remember so many times doing that and going, phew, I totally broke the game and cheated death, but it still is awesome, and I'm that's the one thing that I'm really scared about that they're going to fix, because that's a huge game changer.
Yeah,
yeah.
Really, I just need to be able to slingshot 747s over my head while riding a Jeep. It's like the main. If they fix anything about the physics at all, they've failed. They got to keep it all the same.
Hopefully they don't fix that, because the rest of the game is so realistic in terms of the physics.
That's true. It's like playing it's like BF3, maybe a little more realistic, I'd say. Probably.
Yeah, probably a little more tactical. Yeah.
I'll say Just Cause 3 is definitely going to be a guaranteed purchase of like next Christmas Steam sale for me.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, definitely.
What else do we got? The CSGO beta got delayed, but I, for one, am happy. If they're going to put out a better product at the end, delay it forever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's a beta, man. It's a beta. I want to play it. I mean, just let me play it. Come on. I've been waiting how many years? Just
Counter-Strike Source just came out, Scott.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's kind of recent. You'll find, Jared, since I mostly post just Counter-Strike content on my YouTube channel, and that's all I play a lot of times.
That's the game that I really broke into the industry with. I don't know if you guys know this, awesome. But it used to be a mod.
Yes.
For this game, 37 years ago now. That was the game that pulled me in. It was like beta, I want to say 0.6. It was like 99. And my buddy was who I was going to art school with, got a job at a place called Surreal Software. And he brought me in on a weekend, and he's like, check out this game. I'm like, and I'd never really done mouse and keyboard before, so I'm like looking while I'm turning my mouse, and I was getting my ass handed to me. I was like, wow, this is a crazy game. He's like, yeah, these people are on the internet, and it just blew my mind. Like, it totally, I was like, are you, like, what? Like, how do they, and it was just like that broke my hymen in two, and I loved PC games after that. I started building my PC, and it took me like 6 months of buying parts because I was a starving artist, and I got into mods, and I lucked out by being able to use 3D, and got into games because of Counter-Strike. And so like I've got an absolute, there's that warm squishy part that I love that fucking game so much that honestly, like, I'm deathly afraid about CSGO. Mm-hmm. I'm deathly afraid. I mean, I don't want it to be a Star Wars remake, Yeah. It already scares me that he doesn't have any gloves or a watch on. Like, is he running around naked? Like, I don't.
Oh wow, you're really looking details. That's true.
Yeah, I'm looking at this game like, oh God, don't and of course, like, I can't really say that, and I feel bad saying that because, like, someone might say, shut the fuck up, you're making video games too, so you can't really, you can't, don't throw rocks if you live in glass houses, right, especially in this industry. But, I know that Valve has taken it on a lot more than originally they thought they were going to, and, if there's one developer that you can trust, it's going to be Valve. Like, they're not going to put it out, and it's, right, like, honestly, I don't think it's going to be seen for, who knows how long. I mean, my God, they've got so much effing money. So they shouldn't put it out. They should not put out Counter-Strike until it is Valve quality. Right. Valve's not making it, and I'm not slamming the developer, but, Valve has the luxury of putting out perfect products. I mean, when do you guys think that we're going to see Half-Life 3? Like,
whenever it's ready.
Our children will see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm glad that they're delaying it, because that just, it can't be put out without being perfect, like Valve quality.
Yeah, that's a good perspective.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a problem with it being delayed either, because it sounds like they're delaying it to incorporate more feedback from the professional players and the community that's played it already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I have no problem with it. Again, that's how they put out awesome games. Is they don't put them out until they're absolutely ready, until it meets their standards.
Yeah, if they put out Counter-Strike and Korea doesn't like it, they're screwed.
Yep. That's true.
Yep.
I mean, they got bronze statues to those characters, and and it's just, I mean, the pros will come to America and destroy them, or it's just a war will happen, and it'll just be really terrible.
Yeah, it's religion over there for sure.
Yeah.
Like I hear what you guys are saying, but the pure gamer in me was really disappointed. I'm on the logical side of my brain. I agree with all of that, but on the side of me just being like, God, I just want to play it, and like, I'm all ready to go. Just release it.
I think it's probably because you've been playing Source for so long and you've been so mediocre that maybe a new game.
Oh wow, John,
coming out. We'll give you a chance to be decent.
Here we go. You're talking. Here we go. What? Invite season 1 and 2. Here we go. Here comes the talk. Oh man.
I played Open once.
Yeah.
Good.
I played Invite when I was like 12.
Never stops. The trolling never stops. But I mean, did anyone watch not to belabor this point, but the competitive footage where they had like the show match?
Yeah.
When they were,
I watched a bit of it.
I mean, on one level, I was like, I don't know what what is this?
I was just thinking in my head, that crosshair.
Yeah.
Please get that off the screen right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting thing. I'm guaranteed there's got to be customization of that. I'm sure.
So, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, Global Offensive, it's going to be a different game, and you're going to have some people that are going to like that, and then a lot of people that are going to hate it. And it doesn't matter what it's like.
It's like Source
people aren't going to like it. Exactly. People aren't going to like it because it's not the same as the games that they've loved for years.
Exactly.
But, hopefully if we know Valve, we know that they're going to put out a quality title regardless. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to come out when they want it to.
Yeah, you're right.
Not to scare you guys, but they're focusing a lot on the console.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of things that are made for the console versus a PC. So if you're a purist,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's
well, hopefully they know where their bread is buttered.
Yeah.
I'll be playing against PS3 players on PC, and I'm going to have a blast with that.
Oh
so
yeah, no kidding.
Do whatever you guys want to do.
Running
Bring
around
the PS3 players my way.
So what else we got? Just a couple more stories here. The Doom 3 source code is going public, which I'm really pumped about. Just because I thought that game was really good. So I hope some modders come out with some good stuff with that. Scott doesn't, because he'll just be afraid.
I haven't finished the game yet, and it's, how many years has that thing been out? But, yeah, well, you were in the minority, right? I mean, because when that came out, it got so short.
Well, it got reviewed so poorly because the multiplayer was just absolute shit. I mean, it really was. It was like 4-player max, I think. I mean, it was really bad.
Yeah, it wasn't real multiplayer. And I think a lot of people, the game was very dark. Dark as in visually dark, and it was just hard to see things. And I think that disappointed a lot of people because at the time, Doom 3 was one of the most graphically advanced games. But you couldn't tell because you couldn't see anything.
It still looks good, man. To this day.
It does, actually.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's held up well.
And then the big one that you guys are real pumped about, MechWarrior Online.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
iFinity, 2 joysticks, ready to go.
God, I hope they do that. I hope they actually do something like that. That'd be so awesome.
Oh my God.
I played the original MechWarrior on my father's IBM. It was 4 megahertz and 2.4 ounces of RAM. But it ran MechWarrior really well.
I don't know if you guys, if you saw the article that we posted on it, I actually found an old trailer on Machinima from 2 years ago that I guess they had announced a reboot a couple years back, and then now it's finally coming to fruition in the form that it's taken now, which is a free-to-play, online game. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's just another game in the stable of free-to-plays coming up that looks really awesome.
Name a game this year that's been announced that hasn't been free-to-play, though.
Yeah,
it's true.
I mean, it's really. I'm honestly I don't know. I'm so, and I'm making one, but oh my God, it's just it's like everyone said, holy shit, let's make a free to play, and everyone's doing it, and I mean it's cool, it's great because everyone's going to be able to get into it and play it, and find out if they like it, which I love. It's really what it really breaks down to, and what I've told people is it's kind of like an extended demo. Remember back in the day when Battlefield 1943 was released, it was here's a map and you can do everything you want, and everyone loved it and played the shit out of it. People stopped releasing good demos. And so the way that I see it are free-to-plays are almost here's a really, really good demo, and if you really want to grind, you can get all the stuff.
Yeah.
You just have to do these little sneaky things to keep on going. You have to buy the weapons X days or Y or something like that, and we're still trying to figure that stuff out. But everyone's a fucking free-to-play now.
What do you think set that off? What game?
What game? I want to say
League of Legends.
I want to say it was League of Legends, but what I want to say is, I think it was League of Legends, and I think it was failed MMOs that decided to go free to play, and then they have this stupid idea to go, hey, let's brag about it so everyone else does it, and so it's oh, we quadrupled our sales by going free to play. So then every other company, their ears perk up, and they're like, "Holy shit, let's do a free to play." And it's I think that's what it was. But honestly, I mean, there's only a few free to play shooters that are notable. I know it's going to become the standard. I mean, that's the thing. a matter of time, and I don't know this for a fact. It's a matter of time before shooters break into the free-to-play market on the console. Plain and simple, just brass tacks.
Yeah.
You know, hardware is becoming like just hard drives are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. Honestly, I'm gonna, you know, I will not be surprised if the next generation of consoles don't even have disk drives, because it's a matter of time before all media just goes digital. Like,
yeah,
you know,
that's true.
I can't remember the last DVD I bought. Honestly, can't. Battlefield, the only reason why I bought that on a disc was because they, of course, duped me into getting the weapons pack so I could kick the shit out of Andy. And so, you know, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, oh shit, if I go and buy this at a brick and mortar, I can get a couple extra guns. Sweet. Now I'm that much farther ahead. But I mean, the thing is like, it's just going digital. It's going digital. They like piracy is such a gnarly, you know, money killer for all of these companies that are doing it. You know, publishers are doing it for money. Developers are doing it usually for the love of games and because they couldn't get a job anywhere else. So, you know, it's this perfect storm where, you know, everyone was happy and fine. And then everything started getting pirated. You know, so then people started figuring, okay, well, we need to do all this authenticity and this and that. And that's where like Steam and Origin and all of those other games are coming from. But people are still getting around it. So now this free-to-play thing is going to start coming out where you need to just, you know, there needs to be this 3-hand like server set where it's, you know, tracking all things, and the piracy will go away hypothetically. I guarantee you, first day, our game's going to be hacked and pirated and on the shelf of some like Bosnian, you know, store. And, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. But, you know, there's things that people are trying to do to try to figure out how not to get all their money stolen from them. I mean, look at Hollywood. They're putting all their money into 3D so people can't go and record it anymore.
Right.
And they're like, just keep on doing it in 3D because it's really hard to do this. It's like, it's just, they're trying to figure out how to keep their money going. So
I think
you'll just see that
more
and more.
The point you make about, like, you're right, we don't see demos anymore, and I think that's kind of the free-to-play model is kind of like, here's your demo, and then if you like it, you know, we're going to entice you to pay for the characters or the unlocks or whatever, because you don't have enough time to do everything through gameplay. But it's kind of like you can get someone involved in your game at you know, no cost to them, and then you're just counting on your game being good enough to hook them in and make them want to pay for it.
Right. I spent $100 on League of Legends.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, if I would have bought that game retail, it would have been $59 or $49. And
no, it wouldn't have, because that's the thing. They would have had DLC. You would have still spent $100.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, if you think about it, they
wouldn't have the player base they do.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, that's the great thing about this. You know, I saw one of the Twitter deals saying like, you know, a lot of the comments were about Tango Down. That was a good game. It's just no one was fucking playing it, and it's because, well, I mean, it was because of Call of Duty, for God's sakes. I mean, we totally screwed the pooch on that one. Putting a game like Blacklight out a couple months before Call of Duty. As soon as Call of Duty came out, it just sucked the air out of the room. And I was also playing Call of Duty at the time, so no big deal. But, you know, it with a game like Blacklight, the potential of this game versus the last is, you know, there's no entry fee. And, you know, even if you come in and play, for a day, 2 days, you're still filling those servers up with warm bodies for the guys that are playing that are really into it to shoot at.
Right.
And it's a multiplayer game. I mean, that's the thing. You need to have warm bodies in it to play. But also, we made a really good game. We learned from the last game, and, you know, kept on going with this one. And so, I'm hoping, I hope to God people notice it, and I hope to, and even with the, in the era of Battlefield and Call of Duty, it's really refreshing because Battlefield is so crawly prone, slow, frantic. Yesterday we were in this battle and I was screaming, I want to go home, because it was so realistic and it was just so crazy. Like people dying and blowing up and like grenades going off, and my hands were cold sweat, and it was just like, this is what it's like to be in a battle, and I really don't want to ever be in a real battle. And so, that's that type of game where it's just completely insane. And Call of Duty is going to be great. It's going to be like all the rest of the Call of Duties, where it's going to be super solid, and it'll be really good for the first 6 months, and then you're going to come on 7-8 months later, and everyone's going to be so much fucking better than you that you're going to just be that warm body that keeps on getting killed, and you're like, oh, okay, one more game. But I mean, that's the thing. Like I purposely talked with the developers, listened to all of the video feedback and all the feedback of Tango Down, and it was like, okay, I think we had the right thing. It's bringing up like the old school games where it's kind of Counter-Strike. I mean, that was that game that's always been in my head, where it's like, as doing the weapon balance and the speed and everything. It's like, I've always had that game in my head. So it has a Counter-Strike vibe, like old school Counter-Strike vibe. But it has more now. It has like, the biggest thing that differentiates us from Call of Duty and Battlefield really is a giant fucking robot. And
that
like,
suit. Yeah.
The giant, I mean, that was the first thing that we did when we got done with Tango Down, was like, okay, what do we want to do in a game? What do we want to do that we haven't done? And it's really cool because I've got a great art director that I worked with previously. His name's Bryce Brodus. He worked at Monolith back in the day, and so did I. And he worked on AVP. He's like, what I remember that I loved was the giant robot in Aliens versus Predator. Like that was a really fun thing. It was like, yeah, let's figure this out. Let's add it. And we didn't even know how we were going to do it or how it was going to be balanced. It was like literally us going, let's add a giant tank. And then we put it in and we're like, okay, now how do we make this balanced? And so, a lot of the things with it is just like those tweaks that a lot of people in these betas are saying, holy shit, this hard suit's so overpowered. But the thing that we've done is allowed it when you go to HRV, which is essentially the legalized wall hack, you can look at the hard suit and you see a weak point, and you can actually take that out with small arms fire if you shoot at it. So it's,
I didn't know that, and my first time in, because to be completely honest with you, when I signed up for beta, I had no background on the game whatsoever. I hadn't played Tango Down or anything, and
I think only 7 people played Tango Down. So.
I played Tango Down.
I played it on console, so.
And see, I've got 2 of the 7 in here.
And I didn't know, what was going on. I was like, okay, Unreal Engine, I'm familiar with that, and we'll go from there. And then first game I got in with a hard suit, I was like, well, I'm just going to unload on this thing, like not use my HRV. But now that I know, I had people say on my videos, they were like, oh, you can run up to it, it's got a blind spot, you can get it with a flamethrower, you can, find the weak spot. And I was like, oh, well, that now it is more balanced than just this, mammoth thing holding a domination point, and you can kill it. So, it doesn't feel overpowered once you know that, for sure.
And that's the thing. I think that a lot of people were like, holy, I don't understand, what are you guys doing? Why are you doing this to us? And it's like, okay, you guys need to play it for more than 2 days. Right. But, that's our generation, the ADD generation of like, I want to know now and I want to kill it and I want to be really good at this game without knowing anything about it. And, the thing is, like, most people didn't even unlock like 70% of the items. In the game. I mean, there's so much more to this game. And that was the big thing with Tango Down versus this. Tango Down was literally rank up, get new guns, shoot guys, use HRV. Done. That was it in a nutshell. And, that's what we were able to do in that long, in that short of time. I mean, the thing is, like, people say, like, that game sucks, or why did you do such a simple game? We wanted to do a game, and we were giving X X days to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much, I mean, it's like, why didn't you make a better movie? Well, I only had like a couple $1 million versus $300 million. Like, what do you expect me to do? But the cool thing is, like, with Blacklight and the free-to-play mentality is it's not like, okay, Tango or Blacklight's out and we'll release a DLC like 6 months later and maybe another DLC if it's still going. With the whole free-to-play thing, which I'm honestly in love with, is you constantly can make your game better.
Right.
Like every day, like any new things, like this beta's been so amazing for us where it's like, okay, it's out. Look at all these bugs we found. We've hammered on the game for the past week. We're going to do this next beta, starting Thursday with all of those fixes. And then next Friday, we already have a huge amount of fixes in that one. And so it's like we're able to do this, and this is going to be months of beta that we're going through before the game's even ready for prime time.
Right.
So a lot of people are getting into it, and I'm stoked that people are being critical with it and not going, oh, it's awesome, totally best game ever, da da da. People are saying, yeah, I'd give it a 8 point whatever, or I'd give it, I'd spend $30 on it. That's awesome, because now we need to know what we need to focus on, or now we need to know what to fix or tweak or break, and then figure out how to put it back together. And that's the really cool thing about it. With Tango Down, we put the game out, and the day it went out, all of us were sitting at our computers going, fuck, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? Well, we need to do a build, and then we need to send it to testing, and then we need to get it to certification, and then it costs, a couple, it costs like, 20, 30 grand to test it and do this and that. And now we need to ask our publisher to do it, and the publisher drags their feet because they want to see if we're going to find any more bugs. And it's like, dude, we need to put it out now because people are buying it and they're fucking pissed off at us. And it didn't happen. And then, we made more fixes, and it was ready, and we gave them a build, and they're like, yeah, no, the game's not selling well enough, so we're just going to kind of, hedge our bets. We made our money back, good for you guys. Maybe we'll do a second one. And we're like, dude, we already have DLC done. We've got 6 new maps. We've got all this stuff done. They're like, yeah, we don't really want to do DLC. And so, we just took that and we're like, okay, F this, we're taking the game back. We went through, and I don't think this is public knowledge, but now it is. Congratulations, exclusive.
Nice.
We went through a lawsuit to get Blacklight back. And so it was kind of like the divorce where we got Blacklight and they got the game Tango Down. So if there's a game that comes out called Tango Down in the future, let's make fun of it. But it was this big thing where we fought for that. And so, this IP, this game is really all of our baby, really, because this is a game that we wanted to make when, when I first saw it, like Mark Long, the CEO, came down, he's like, check out this artist. And he showed me this artist that he, had commissioned to do a couple concepts for an idea that he had. And I'm like, this is so awesome. Like, this is amazing. And he goes, good. I'm glad you like it. I want you to make a game out of this. And so with those concepts, I made that game that I've always wanted to make. I mean, I worked on Fear, and that whole time on Fear, I was like, I want to do weapon customization. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it was like, it doesn't really fit in this type of game. And so I went to, I lucked out and I got this universe that I was able to pull all of my crazy ideas into. And it was just really cool. I mean, it was kind of like, all of these years I've been making games and having that game that I've always wanted to make, and it came to fruition with this. And, I've got Andy Kipling, who's an amazing producer, and he's really got my back on all this stuff, and Bryce Brodus, who's my art director, and he's like really amazing. He's a really, really great artist, and he's been able to work with me, and we've been able to make this, really cool game and cool universe. And the best part is if it sucks and it comes out, we can fix it. And so, we'll just keep on working on it. And I'm not expecting to even, scratch the armor of Call of Duty. And honestly, I don't think Call of Duty's that huge on the PC. I think that I think that that's the thing. It's just like COD4 is going to come out. People will buy it on the PC. It's awesome, but it's not like a juggernaut like it is on the console.
Right.
So, and not only that, but like Perfect World's been really, really awesome with this whole thing. They've got an amazing staff that's been just going, okay, what do you want to do? Let's expand this. Let's add more of these things. And they've really been pushing it. And the crazy part is they haven't been like, okay, we're only going to do this if we can make money, and they've given us, more ideas to do more game types that we weren't even planning on doing, that we're already starting to work on, that'll hopefully be out by release, that we're not even, that are being worked on right now in closed beta. That, it'll be really, really cool. And, it's very exciting for me to be excited about a game that I'm working on, and I hope that it actually comes out and it becomes good.
Yeah, that's
the fact that you worked on Fear kind of makes me like you a lot more, because what a fucking game that was, though. What a game!
Oh
God, yeah,
terrifying.
That was a gnarly game to work on. That was a lot of fun, though. It was a lot of late nights. That was one of those games. That was the first game that I think that taught me to, if you believe in your game's going to become better,
right.
And if you're stoked on your game, it's going to become better. And to always watch Japanese horror movies, because then that's where you find out what all of the ideas are coming from.
Yeah, it's not as confusing after that, right?
I'd never watched any Japanese horror movies, and I was working on Fear for a few months, and then The Grudge came out, and I remember running into my lead's office, and I'm like, there's a movie that's fucking copying Alma. This is bullshit. And he's like, oh, no, that's The Grudge. We copied it from this Japanese horror movie. I was like, oh, wow, we're less critics than I thought. Okay, whatever. Go back to work and work on, scaring the shit out of people.
That's awesome.
That was a really fun game. I mean, talking about the ultimate game to design is like, hey, how do we open this up? Have a little scary bitch blow it open, and she comes and scares you and then walks away. Like, oh, okay, that's easy enough.
Yeah, some of those pop scares are just absolutely cruel. Like when you're climbing up a ladder and the last thing you expect is to see this little girl's face, right? Oh man, pissed my pants many times during that game. But yeah, getting kind of back to Blacklight. One thing I did want to ask you, some of the stuff from just looking over the past few days, doing some research on it. Like, as far as like a franchise, like I read a couple of things that said that you guys want to. I know there's a comic book out, right? About this, and that was
company.
Yeah, okay, and that's the old company, right? Okay, gotcha.
No, it killed a comic book company somehow.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It was the first and last comic that this company put out. Ooh. It was really kind of sad. Their backers backed out of it. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, we had a comic book. We had, there's a script floating around Hollywood with it. Yeah, I mean, the thing that we wanted to do is, it's a really cool universe. And we, we're going to actually redistribute the comic book in digital form. That's one of the ideas, because myself and another one of our writers wrote it together, pretty much drunken one night, and it turned out really cool. It was a really crazy idea, and it was getting this universe kind of understood, and I think they printed like 5,000 copies, and they distributed like 700 to different comic book stores, and then we got like a bunch of them, and I think we were like lining the toilet stalls with them for a few months.
Gotcha.
It's just kind of, I was, what are we going to do with all these comics? I don't know. Send them out.
Gotcha. But, and so that was, okay, cool. Yeah, that makes a little more sense. And then as far as like, you were saying with the movie script, so something's floating around, so something could come out and you guys would be like,
I would be stoked, actually.
Okay.
Even if that Bull guy did it, I think I'd still be stoked.
Oh man.
Honestly.
Oh god.
Like, it'd be funny. It would be like someone making fun of you. It would be kind of like a roast where it's like, oh my god, I can't believe what he did to this. But who knows? Maybe. You can't keep on putting out bad things, right? Maybe he might luck out with this one, but. Yeah, there's a script. It was actually signed with Fox for a while, and then we got it back, and so I've been kind of working with that with some guys, and I don't know, maybe it'll come out. And the thing is as crazy as it sounds, Halo is much bigger than Blacklight, but Halo and all of the other huge games, the BioShocks, those single player experiences that are so massive and so amazing, have so many lawyers, have so many more people that can gain from that. Where, if someone's like, oh, Blacklight's a cool game, yeah, we'll totally do a movie off that. I think that even if it became a sci-fi original, I'd be stoked. And I think that people would sign and be like, yeah, let's totally do it. Whatever. Oh yeah, it's a high school student project. Yeah, totally do Blacklight the movie. I don't care. Great. Super cool. I'd just be stoked. Like, people if someone gets hyped on something that we've done and wants to do it, I'd be so stoked to watch that. Even if it's even if the red carpet's in some terrible place, I'll go.
Nice. Also, a couple other things too. I mean, we've touched on a lot of the stuff already that I was planning to talk about, which is awesome, kind of organically. But what, as far as FPSs, we kind of touched on this, but what inspired you as far as this game? I see a lot of different influences. Like, I only played it. You sent me the closed beta key the one day before it ended, but I was able to get in and play about 2 hours, and right away, I felt that fast pace. I know what you mean. I mean, it's totally in a different world and it's sci-fi, but I felt that kind of pace, the influences of Counter-Strike, the controls were really tight. You have the aim down sights, the ADS stuff, which is, Call of Duty and stuff. What were some of your guys' influences? I mean, you were saying you played BF3 and everything as well, so.
Well, I don't even play single player games anymore. I can't remember the last single player game that I've played. Because I've really, it's weird because I play shooters, multiplayer primarily, and then completely random shit like skate and snowboarding games and NBA jams. It doesn't even make sense. There's no connection to that. Where, I think the influence of Blacklight was, it was definitely Counter-Strike, in the sense of that was the game that I played so much when I was coming up, and I still those fast moments. I fucking hate prone. I hate campers, and so I did everything I could to destroy it. And that's the funny thing, because I play Battlefield and I play Call of Duty and I play Counter-Strike, and those games are very slower pace. You're watching all your corners, you're doing this and that. I really don't like doing that, so I made it so you could just look through walls. And so
sped the process up, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what, F it. Everyone's gonna cheat. Done. We just give you a cheat button, it just needs to recharge. And when we suggested it, people were freaking out, absolutely freaking out. You are fucking crazy, why are you doing this? Is just going to make the game so ridiculous. But what it's done is, number one, when I play Battlefield, I'm constantly hitting the V button trying to figure out where the bad guys are. And so it's ruined my play experience, but I still get used to it. But the big thing about it is it makes it so combat is actually face to face. If you have the ability to know where your enemies are, but you don't have a straight line of sight, it becomes kind of like a tactic of movement, because you can be seen. They know that they could be seen, but you can still, it's so strange. There's still that human movement where it's
definitely.
you think you think that person's okay, I'm seeing him, he's aiming that direction, and so you start running down that corridor. And you hop around and he's gone, and he's not there, and you're like, what the hell? And he used HRV while you're running down there, and he's now flanking you. Or, it's just this big, it's not as gnarly and as much of a destructive mechanism as people think without playing it. When we first started talking about it for Tango Down, people were instantly going, this is, I don't get it, you guys are idiots. I think that Syndicate game has it, which is totally awesome that other people are buying into that. And that game looks awesome. That game looks totally awesome. It's just weird that they just announced it and they're putting it out like a few months from now. But it's clearly a mechanic that can be good, and it is great. Like in Blacklight, it makes the combat so much faster. It makes that asshole that knows, abuts himself into that corner and just snipes people. He's now dead. He's gone. He's gonna get killed, and then they're gonna taunt him.
Sorry to interrupt. You could totally tell the people, like, I didn't know to use it in my first couple games. Once I got used to it, you can totally tell who isn't using it, because they're dead most of the game.
Well, I've seen some videos where people don't use it at all, and they're still doing really good. The thing about it that I personally am very proud of that it's happened, and honestly I didn't even know. I didn't really think about it until Tango Down came out, and I played Tango Down a bunch. But if you play Call of Duty, if you play Battlefield, when you get on a major tear and you look up at the score and you're like, holy shit, I'm like 5 over, or I'm 20 some odd over. It's mostly because you came up behind a bunch of guys, or you came up on the side of someone, or you, like, it was never like you were face to face and you came in and you fought these guys and it became true skill. It's usually always from behind. It's usually always from back. But with HRV, a lot of the combat is actually more faced towards each other, and it's a lot more skill based. So the hardcore, the guys that I watch, and I'm like, holy fuck, these guys need a shoe deal because they're so good at this game. They should, they're usually face to face combat, and they're still taking the guys down. And, you still get like a guy from behind, or you still get a guy from the side, but most of that combat, when it's two good players, you're juking and you're dodging and you're weaving and you're timing each other's HRV, and it's pretty cool. And we've added these new systems like, HRV jammers or decoys. We added these big, pucks that you throw down, and it makes a sensory field where you can't be seen at HRV. So there's all of these things that we've added to add essentially new chess pieces.
Yeah.
That's, I'm really stoked on, because like getting people to actually play with them. Cause like I said, like you guys even noticed, like playing for 2 hours or playing for X hours, you don't even know like half the things that are there. It's like playing Call of Duty for the first time. You're like, oh wait, how do I get these dogs to come out? Oh, that's weird. But that's just a couple of the parts of the game, which is really awesome that we have so much more.
Yeah, that's what I felt when I was playing. I felt like, in the beginning, I felt like I was kind of just running gunning. Well, I was, because I didn't know what I was doing. But as it went on, and I played for every day for all 4 days it was open, and by the end, I'm using HRV, and then every battle I had, if the person was any good, was always gun on gun. It was never never flanking at all. But you could tell that with the different skills, like the decoys and stuff, which I don't actually think I ever got to use them, but I was like, wow, I wish I had that right now. Especially if the other team had a couple good people, because then I was just desperately wanting a decoy or something so they couldn't see an HRV. Anything to try to get an advantage in a tactical situation, especially with things like domination, because you can HRV in domination, and in Call of Duty, you can't see, like point C, you can't see it from point A usually, but you can in this game. So you can be like, oh, well, we don't need to defend that area right now. So you can kind of strategically move people around too. And I can see it just becoming a very big chess match after a while, once people have shit unlocked.
When I was watching Dan's videos, and looking at the gameplay, that was actually one of the most intriguing things about it, because like you say, the combat feels very true, because like you can't really flank, and you're not really going to get many people. Like once people are actually familiar with the game, you're not going to be sneaking up on people and flanking all the time. It's going to be a lot of gun on gun combat, and it's going to actually come down to who has the better shot or the better movement.
Yeah.
And that's what draws me to games like Quake And
you and John are licking your chops right now.
Yeah, absolutely, because I love the movement aspect of it, and when it comes down to you and another person actually going up against each other, and the better person wins. And it definitely looks like there's that element in Blacklight, because again, with domination, like that completely changes the game when you can see where your enemies are coming from, and it adds a whole element of strategy that isn't really in like a Call of Duty.
And we're really happy about it. I mean, that's the cool thing, that people get it and aren't fighting it, where it's like it is a new system. Excuse me. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm stoked that you guys are excited about it and are welcoming it. Really, that's really cool.
Yeah, and what I was going to say too, to add to that, for the 2 hours of gameplay that I actually got, and I'm looking forward to Thursday to get back into it. But so I didn't know, like just like Dan, when his first playthrough kind of the game, first few matches, I didn't know anything on minus I knew the suit. I looked up with the I guess V key, right, to use the suit. Mm-hmm. So I knew some of the basics from playing Tango Down. But I was basically just wasn't messing with any of the like the depots where you can upgrade with the points. I was just using my assault rifle, running around, and instantly I was having fun because I was shooting people, because I was, like you're saying, Brandon, I was outmoving them. Because, I mean, if you're good, to me, like a mark of a shooter that's going to be successful, or a good shooter, when you play it, is like if you are already good at other shooters and have played, especially on the PC side, and are good, let's say, good at any kind of FPS on a PC, and you can jump from game to game, and if a game's designed well, you're going to be able to do well, kind of out of the get-go. Not always, but most of the time, even with just the basic equipment. And right away, I was, I wasn't like tearing it up, but I was going even, maybe a little more positive, and I was having fun just killing people with the assault rifle, and it felt kind of like, even without all that other stuff, which is cool to have layers on top of layers, but it was awesome. So is that your dog, John, messing with you? So yeah, it's been interesting, and I'm excited to kind of get a little more into it and see some of that other stuff. Right before I had to stop playing that day, I saved up enough points to get the mech suit or whatever it's called from it, and I didn't get to use it because the game ended, so I was disappointed. But I got killed by it enough to be like, all right, I really want to use this thing and just wreck house. So
and that's the thing is, like, the weapon depot is brand new to this game. It's I don't know of any other shooters or anything that has something like this, where as you play, you're able to get more combat points, and then as you progress with the combat points, you could buy things out of these depots. And the whole idea was, we had this giant mech that we wanted to put in the game, so we're like, how do we put this in? And I didn't want to make it like Battlefield, where you sit at that spawn point and you're spamming the E key until it reappears, like the jets. And what
the Big Daddy in BioShock.
Yeah. Well, what we wanted to do is figure a way to do that. So it's like, let's connect points to taking over control points, or healing teammates, or reviving teammates, or giving supplies out, or this or that. And as you progress, you get these abilities essentially out of this space age vending machine. And the thing is like, as you progress in the game, right now when you get the game, just right off the bat, you get health, ammo, a flamethrower, a rocket launcher, and then the hard suit. But as you progress and you go through the skill tree, our skill tree is really cool, because what I wanted to try to do with that is, when we were playing Call of Duty, a lot of the guys, at lunch we'd be sitting there and we'd say, oh, I'm using this and I'm using that, and kind of like talking about alchemy of like that perfect soldier that they've created. And so, I really wanted something like that. I wanted people to be on the forums or saying like, oh, I did this and I did that and I did this. So all of your weapons, your primary weapons, are unlocked in a rank. So you get to, rank 10, you get this, you get that. But like all of your abilities, and I consider gear abilities, so like grenades and proximity mines and all that stuff, as well as abilities to revive or drop barricades, or even some of the newer the weapon depot items are in the skill tree, where as you rank up, you get new points, and you're able to select what you want out of that. So it's not, I don't define what you get. So like the five of us could be playing, and we could have totally different ideals for the skill tree and how it works, and have these different things unlocked and not unlocked. It's like, I play really heavy, so I went straight to the barricade and I unlocked the grenade launcher or something like that, and one of you could have the revive kit and a bunch of different grenade types.
So it sounds like you're going to be able to play whatever kind of play style you
exactly. What we wanted to do was make essentially a classless system where you can be the medic with a sniper rifle and a bunch of other stuff, and that's what we wanted. That was the big thing about this one is, here are like completely open skill trees that players can define their character class as they play. And I'm really excited to see what people do with that. And not only that, like the customizable characters, so they can make kind of crazy characters and just all of the different color camos and all that stuff.
Will you have hats? That's everything the TF2 community is asking.
God, you know what? I think that after we get the game going and out, we'll probably have to put a hat bone in there and somehow start doing hats. It's just so funny. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and they deserve it because it's a great game, but it's so funny how freaking stoked people get off of hats. Like, I thought about just going and buying one on eBay just so I could be super elite and cool to all the kids. But, it's just wild.
That's awesome. As far as I want to get into this a little bit, is ask you kind of the development process between. We kind of touched on this, like you were talking about the certification process and all that stuff when going through the console sid with Tango Down. Like developing, we talked about this in a couple previous casts. And actually John Carmack from id made some
never heard of him.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I have to tell you he's from id, right? Made some interesting comments recently about kind of the whole development thing and about how it's the console is the wave of the future, and so where do you stand on that? And as far as like development,
can I interject real quick, Scott,
sure.
on a kind of related thing to that?
Yeah.
So this was developed, I believe you guys put out a dev diary that we posted, I think, that had basically, how it was good to develop for the PC.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, to me, one of the huge things, that it's kind of an intangible, I guess, but Hard Reset, I don't know if you played it or...
Yeah.
Hard Reset was developed directly for the PC, and right out of the box just felt great. And like everything felt right. And for me, that's a huge thing. Like that's why when they said they were developing it for PC only, I was like, all right, yes, and got it, and it definitely feels that way. And Blacklight also feels that way. And it's good. It's kind of an intangible, but to me, just the movement and the control, everything just feels better.
Yeah, it's kind of why I was saying Counter-Strike Go is being developed with console in mind.
Right.
Where, Tango Down was built for console because that was, it's like, okay, build for the Xbox first. Okay, great. Xbox becomes the PC. It's just lower end, and we need to figure out where we're going to put all these buttons for all of our keys on the controller. Okay, now we're going to build it to the PlayStation because it's probably the most crazy architect system there is, and you have to rebuild the game and you have to do all these other crazy things. But you still have the controller. So you're when you're building a game for 3 SKUs, the controller is what everyone has to play with. Right. And so that's the thing. When you, like, right now, actually, we changed it yesterday. It's something that just from controller mentality from the past year, and it was Legacy, where you go into tight aim and the cursor speed slows down. that was legacy from the controller, because when you go into tight aim with a controller, you want finer tuning. And so everyone was saying, why are they doing this to us? So what we did was we made it so that's actually customizable.
I saw that
in Blacklight, where you can set your sensitivity, and then you could set your tight aim sensitivity as a modifier off that. So you could make it so it's faster, slower, or the exact same. And so those are some of the things that it's like, okay, let's make more of this feedback. But the big thing about console versus PC is the mouse is so much better than your thumb. Your wrist and arm have much better just movement than your thumb. And so you can do a lot more things with it, where the verticality can be higher because you can quickly look up and down. On a controller, it's kind of you need to have that a little bit of a magnetism and all of that stuff. You have to figure out all these other systems, and when you're just focusing on the PC, throw that all away, and it's literally my PC works like that. My mouse works like this, and that's it. And so it makes the gameplay much more focused. Now, if we were to do it on the console, we would come back and we'd throw all those other things and we dial it in so it has the console feel to it. But right now, like, oh my God, we've got so much work for the PC. I don't foresee that coming anytime soon. But we're talking about going worldwide with this damn game, and it's pretty wild that there are that many PC users. As a developer, working on Fear, it was like it seemed like that was the last generation of hyped PC games.
I would agree with that.
It was like Doom 3, it was Fear, it was Battlefield 2. That era was a great era. And then the Xbox came out and it's like, boom, here you go. You can have dynamic lighting. You can have all this great stuff. Look at this great hardware. And all the developers are like, holy shit, just got to go to that. That's perfect. And this is kind of the endemic, just cycle of the industry where, I've seen a couple. So it's like, PlayStation comes out. Everyone's like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing in the world. And then it starts getting old, and PCs surpass that and go a little bit further. And then, the Xbox and PlayStation 2 come out, and the hardware was kind of the same, but when you're making PC, you have to make it for min specs. And back in the day, making stuff for min spec was really hard to do because it couldn't do the calculations, and really it was all about polygons. So you couldn't make a great looking game in comparison to like Halo. And it's just kind of this weird cycle that's going on. And right now, like the consoles are still putting out amazing art. But like if you look at Battlefield 3 on a smoking machine, or even that Epic demo that they did at GDC, like holy shit, look at how amazing the PC is and how
There's
it's
no comparison.
Yeah, it's surpassed the consoles, and the consoles can't do it. But they're going to keep up, like the last cycle of the PlayStation 2 that put out like Snake Eater, which was an amazing game, and it looked beautiful. Because, over these years, everyone learns how to milk everything and make it look really good. So it's kind of a weird one, but like the PC is just so much easier to work on. And there's so many other things like, okay, so if I'm making a PC game, all I have to do is buy my developer a PC. If I'm making a console game, I have to get a PC, and then I need to get X consoles for everyone to be using. And all of the licenses and making those work, and then all of the certification processes and all that crazy stuff. I mean, that's why my team's 20 some odd people, and the standard EA or Activision games like hundreds and multiple studios. So I'm really proud of what we've done. And whenever people, say, oh, that game sucks compared to Call of Duty or Battlefield, the fact that someone's saying that this game's even in the league of those is thank you. I mean, that's just like saying, oh, your Lotus is almost as fast as a Lamborghini. Well, the Lotus is like a quarter of the price. So I guess I'm kind of a little bit smarter here. So I mean, it's a weird one. The industry is amazing, and like the really cool part is the indie. You know, I mean, the true indie guys, like the indie guys with the ironic mustaches and the sweaters that go to all the cons with their crazy fucking ideas, that are going to sell like, you know, a couple hundred copies, and they're still going to, you know, be able to make their money and come out with their next great game, because those are where it's going to be pushing it. And, you know, the big guys are still there. And like, I like to say that we're kind of like, corporate indie at Zombie. 'Cause like we're biggish, but we're not gigantic, and we can still do what we want to do. And we'll see what happens with this whole free-to-play thing. I mean, it could be really, really great for us, or it could just be another chapter in the next, you know, thing. And who knows, maybe next year we'll be doing a disc game, or I don't want to do mobile, but you know, it could just keep on moving, and that's the fun part. I mean, it's like this whole social media thing with you guys doing podcasts, and like, you know, 2-3 years ago, it was, you know, just a couple big websites, and 5 years ago it was only magazines. And so it's just like, things just need to keep on moving, and it's great that people are able to be agile with it.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think, as far as, so you were talking a little bit about kind of the feedback you've gotten on Tango Down. There's been a lot of, obviously, like, changes and stuff, and kind of read some stuff where and you've already said it yourself, as far as like, this is the game that you wanted to make. You already said that before, and you feel like that with this game. Does it? So you were saying you're glad with the criticisms of it. So do you kind of embrace that too? Because I mean, let's face it, like when you put time into something, and you know, you have an IP and something like with Tango Down. I mean, it's still got to hurt a little bit when people dump on it. Or are you far removed from that? Can you handle both, or how does that work?
I mean, I'm probably, I don't know, a lot of people would really describe me as one of the biggest assholes they know. And
that's in your Twitter profile. I did see that.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm a fucking jerk, and I will openly make fun of people, and I will have fun at other people's expenses. So like some little fat kid typing on you know, a comment, you know, this game sucks. Like, okay, how good is your game that you're working on? You know, it's kind of, I mean, that's the way you got to see it. Yeah. And, you know, the very first game I put out was called Draken Ancient's Gates. And, that was for like PlayStation 2, back in 1807. I
can look that up right now. I'm Googling that thing.
It was a steam powered console. I was so excited about this game, and I was so fresh, like, in the industry, and I read every single review, and I read everything, and this was right when, like, magazines still had the snarky, writers, and I read this really just terrible review that was just raking it over the coals, and I was so angry about it. I was like, oh my God. And then, like, I read another deal for another really bad game that I worked on. And this was back when like IGN started coming out, and you could leave comments, and just like the pure venom that was left for it is like, I don't even really read comments anymore. I mean, if someone's gonna, you know, take 30 seconds to type in some bullshit racism or just be a snarky ass, I'm not even gonna read it. If someone's gonna spend an hour just compiling the video, or you know, spend a long while writing a couple paragraphs, sure, I'll totally read it. But like, I don't really want to see, you know, love it, awesome, great game, because that's great and all. But you know, if someone spends the time, I'll spend the time reading it. So you know, people are going to be snarky and comment and, you know, say, you know, why are they even doing this game? Because the last one sucks. It's like, okay, you know, whatever. I know what I did, and the last game could have been better. Sure, totally agree. Sorry about that. $15. I can give you an email address. But it's. I mean, look at Red Dead, the first Red Dead game, versus Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a huge change in those games, and there's a huge change in Tango Down to Retribution. And honestly, we called it Retribution for a reason. We are really, really trying to, prove that this is going to be a better game, that this is going to be that game that we wanted to make. And honestly, there's a lot of stuff that we want to add to it. But I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very, very happy with the fact that, after it comes out, we can keep on fixing it. We can keep on tweaking it. Versus the last game where it was hands
are kind of tied there.
Yeah, they were absolutely tied, and it sucked. It totally sucked. But people are gonna fucking hate on this game if it's not Call of Duty. Even if it was Call of Duty, they'd still hate on it because it's not Call of Duty 4. And that's it's a sad true fact that if a kid gets in a fight in a high school, the other one will either sue him or bring a gun and shoot him, versus kick the shit out of them the next day, and they'll learn to get along. And so it's a really weird one. I beat my kids up all the time, and make sure that they're not little assholes on the internet doing that stuff. But you're gonna have that. It's the anonymous factor of a forum where they can say that. I guarantee you, after this post, I'm gonna get all sorts of Twitter crap. So
you probably earned yourself a lot more fans, to be honest with you.
It's good to hear someone speak candidly about it like that, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll get shit on for Podbean breaking or something.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's hard to critique something when I know for a fact is come Thursday something's going to be broken. I know it, and someone's going to make a YouTube video. And the funny thing is, all of the broken things on the YouTube videos, we've sent out to the team, and all of us laugh our asses off. We're like, holy shit, how do we fix this breakdancing character that we just saw?
No, keep those bodies in. Those are really...
and that's some of us are like, why should we even fix it? The breakdancing characters are awesome. And it's just really funny, all of these little things. It's okay, yeah, we'll fix that. It takes an hour or 2 hours to fix. But people get so angry, how dare you? But it's wow, if anything, if we're getting hate and anger about this game, I can only imagine what the Battlefield guys are getting, and I feel bad for them because they're Swedish and they're so nice. Swedish people are the nicest people in the world. They don't deserve the hate that they're getting right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a weird one.
One quick thing too, not to keep harping on Tango Down, but I noticed as far as how quickly you die in this game and how much damage guns do. Did you guys tweak that quite a bit between the two games, or is it still? I feel like people die a lot faster in this game, or is that just in my mind? Am I going nuts?
I think it's a little. It depends because I don't know which weapon.
Yeah, I'm even thinking just the general assault rifle. It seems to be a little different, but maybe not.
And as a stock player, also,
yeah.
Tango Down had the characters upgraded, so I don't know if you were using a heavier character or
that's
whatnot.
A good point. Yeah.
This one, you've got the upper body and lower body that both have some armor attributes as well as your head. So if you're finding yourself getting killed quickly, wear heavier armor, you'll move slower, but maybe you might have a better fighting chance with that. That's the thing that we're figuring out, but the weapon damage really hasn't changed much.
Okay.
It could be a precision of aim thing too.
That's probably exactly what it is, John. Actually,
if you get a beat on somebody in Retribution, they're pretty fucked.
Yep.
Yeah. And you should have known where he was. We gave you the tools.
Yeah.
It's your own fault.
You
Yep. Nice.
But also keep in mind that right now, everything's on we're testing one server set. So right now we're on the East Coast servers. So I don't know where you guys are. You guys are on
4 ping.
Well, then you guys should be picking the shit out of everyone. Well, I have to play over here in Seattle. But yeah, we're going to have East Coast, West Coast, and European servers. I don't know when. They never tell me any of the important stuff, but eventually, I've noticed some people are complaining about lag, and they're complaining, and then I check their Twitter, and it's like, oh, well, you're in Vancouver, Canada. That might be why, because it's in New York or something like that. So going across, but in the sense that it's going across the entire country, our lag really isn't super bad, which I'm very happy about. I mean, this last weekend was testing a lot of the server sets and making sure things weren't melting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing with when I joined in for this 2 hours. I think I was getting pretty high ping spikes of like 150 to 200, and it was still playable. Like I wasn't feeling like I was being cheated, and even then that was where I was noticing I feel like I was killing people quicker. But I think you're right, John. Going from the console to just the precision, I was shooting people in the head a lot more, obviously, with the mouse. So
yeah, I don't know if you played Tango down on the PC at all, but
yeah, I didn't.
On the PC, you go down pretty quickly. Like we would still play occasional matches on the PC just to laugh at each other. And it's I don't think that it's changed that much. I mean, we actually did tweak it a little bit this last week, so you could have been going up against a guy with the combat rifle that was really kind of gnarly this last week. But that's the thing. We're going to keep on moving that stuff around until we feel that it's fair. So
gotcha.
Yeah, considering the guns have like 6 different modifiable systems on it.
Yeah.
It's a massive pain in the ass.
I'm really looking forward to all that shit unlocked on Thursday. I believe that was the plan anyway. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have everything unlocked, which will be really interesting to see what people are, leaning towards. I guarantee you everyone's going to be running around with the crazy ammo types that we've added. And just, stealth camo, the heavy machine gun with probably toxic rounds and a bunch of crazy grenades or something like that. While they're like
danger close noob tubes.
None of those.
Make it happen. We purposely didn't put any noob tubes in as a customization deal.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Quickly, becoming my favorite human being.
I mean, you could buy a revolver grenade launcher, which is pretty gnarly, but it still costs game points. So it's not like everyone has it at the beginning of the round and they're just shooting up and over and all that fun stuff. But eventually it gets pretty. I mean, the big thing is the escalation of combat, because like at the end of the rounds they get so crazy where it's just airstrikes and railguns and miniguns and like people dropping turrets and then everyone hiding behind barricades and going all crazy. It's pretty cool how much it's evolved in less than a year.
Awesome. All right, I think we're going to Dan. There's a lot of Twitter questions.
Brandon I think had some picked out.
Brandon had some, so we got about 15 minutes left. So
hopefully they're good ones.
Yeah, hopefully the good batch, Brandon.
It's funny, you actually answered quite a few of them throughout the course of conversation, but we still got some here.
And now it's time for Twitter questions with the KBMOD podcast.
Let's see, we've got from Charlie Tango. What is the biggest mistake developers make designing first-person shooters?
It's a broad question.
That's pretty broad.
Yeah. Wow. Not updating them. I mean, that's definitely the biggest one.
Ding, ding, ding. It's a good answer.
Yeah, definitely not updating. That's definitely it.
Putting out your broken-ass game early because you had to get it out, that's your biggest.
Developing for console.
That's the worst part, because everyone fucking blames the developers. They always blame, like, oh, why would you put the game out if it's broken? Well, because we need to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan, you asshole. Man.
I'm sorry. There's been such a rash of them lately. It's been weird.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're a little fed up here.
Because of the recession.
Yeah.
Publishers need to somehow pay for their Learjets.
Kotick's struggling, so I can't blame him if he puts something out early.
Yeah, he really is.
I'm sure life's rough.
I already have Activision ninjas outside of my house after some of the Call of Duty stuff that I've said on
He's not taking anything.
You just see that van with the tinted windows sitting outside of your house, don't you?
It's got a Black Ops emblem on it.
It does. It's driven by a 16-year-old kid too. He's ready to go.
And the license plate is some form of racial slur.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, let's see. This will be a question for everyone here from James Goes Boom. He asks, if you could make any game into a live-action movie, what game would you choose, and who would be the lead actors?
Ooh. All right. Well, maybe I'll go first on this. I'm gonna go with one that's really obvious because it would make a good movie anyway. I'm going Half-Life 2.
Oh, you son of a bitch! I knew you were gonna say that.
And Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad has to play
Ford Freeman.
Ford Freeman.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with BioShock.
BioShock.
Oh, you stole mine.
Just because Rapture is just unreal. Like that, just the ambiance of that world is just phenomenal. And
where's Alex at?
I don't really know who I would have act. I don't know. Take the cast from like Saved by the Bell.
Screech is in there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, fucking Screech would be the big daddy.
That'd be pretty amazing.
Oh man.
Sorry, Scott.
Yeah, you guys took. Yeah.
I'll change mine to Doom, starring The Rock.
Oh, that already happened. Yeah. I would go. Actually, I've been playing. I talked about this last week, but Metro 2033 is a really good game, and the world is really cool. The only thing would be does take place in Russia, so for American audience, you might have to tweak it a little bit, but it's really got some cool plots going on in it, and the main character you kind of really empathize with. So I go with that to play the main guy. I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Screech,
yeah. Let's get Screech in there, and then maybe have him film a porno as well while he's at it. Oh, he's already done that too. Yeah.
I'd actually like to see a World of Warcraft movie.
It's in the
that
works.
lore is always. Yeah, that lore is always really interesting.
Yeah, there's some porno.
I've seen some of those, yeah.
I used to play on a server with Mia Rose, who does tons of World of Warcraft porn. So there you go.
Wow.
What about you, Jared?
Do you have any, Jared, think of?
Man, the only, like, it just shows how much of a fucking fanboy I am. I'd have to do Metal Gear. Like, if that was, like, if I were a millionaire.
Nice.
Yep.
And wanted to drop some serious money just to pay for a license, it would be Metal Gear, and I would have to go back in time to get young Kurt. I'd probably get Snake Plissken from all the Escape movies.
Not bad.
Kurt from I would just have him walk off the set and go right to the set for Metal Gear. That's the only way I'd do it. I think either that or probably
change
like
character name.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I'm almost positive that's what he based it off of. I mean, you really look at them both, but, I don't think Snake ever wore, like, really, thigh-high, moccasin boots, though. Like Snake did, but, yeah. That would definitely probably be it, I think. I think that would be, either that or, like, Dane Cook would be Snake. So then I know that movie will never get a sequel. So it's like, I made this movie. And no one else can take it from me.
Oh, God.
I think that'd be pretty rad. He's not doing shit anymore. I mean,
yeah, whatever. He just... Does he even tour anymore? I haven't heard anything about
He just posts stupid shit on Facebook.
Does he?
That's pretty much his career now.
His Facebook? Wow.
It's all he does is post shit on his Facebook. And it's like really awful jokes. Let's go find out. I'm gonna read these and laugh to myself while you guys are talking about whatever you're talking about.
All right, Brandon.
Anything else, Brandon?
Let's see. Next we've got from Kai Allen. If you could pick one past single-player game to have a modern-day multiplayer, what game would it be?
Ooh. Yeah, these are deep.
So you're taking the single-player element and you're making it into a multiplayer game. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy. Jedi Power Battles on the PlayStation 1. I've said this every week. What a game. What an underrated title.
First-person Battletoads.
Oh.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh. Wow. Well, I'll go with that and go with Double Dragon, but make it into a co-op fighter, 4-player instead of 2. Take that Double Dragon to the next level.
I think you should make it an MMO, man. Why stop there?
Double Dragon MMO.
I think that's a good idea.
It's called APB.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Which has gone free to play as well. Speaking of,
yeah,
man.
Weird.
I put like 12 minutes into that game.
I heard that it's good now that it's free to play, but I don't know.
It works, but it's literally Grand Theft Auto with no story. That's all it is. It's fun. I mean, I had fun blowing shit up and like killing grandma while she was shopping.
They have great tech with that game. It was kind of a bummer. I don't know how that could have been as successful. Like it just needed so much more when it came out, when it was retail. Like I just feel like, God, man, if anything, those guys must be pissed because everyone's going, I want my $50 back versus 15 from Tango. So
yeah,
I guess I lucked out on that one.
Yeah, you're doing a little better over there. Wow.
Oh man. I'd say Boy and My Blob for me.
Boy and My Blob. Wow.
Boy and his blob. His blob would turn into different shit. So, like, that's where I would just milk people with free-to-play shapes.
Yes.
That's a very strong plan.
Find some indie dev.
I think that could work.
One dude, he'll do that.
It's probably under works now that it's out in the universe. and he's got an ironic mustache and he wears a monocle.
Works on a steampunk PC.
Exactly.
I think I'd go with like a Streets of Rage back in the Sega days.
Ooh, not bad. Or Pit Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Pitfall, a 3D Pitfall platformer. Please give that to me.
Didn't they try? They didn't try that.
No, they remade Pitfall, but
it wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't like crazy at all. I don't believe.
Make it like a Mirror's Edge, but have it be Pitfall.
There you go.
multiplayer Turok. That's one.
Well, that's already coming out, dude.
I know.
Forget, what was that game called?
Oh, the
dinosaur.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's just T-Rexes running through while you guys are trying to capture a dom point. I like that.
And they said you're going to be able to play as the dinosaurs.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just want to be a raptor forever. That's it.
All right, let's see. Actually, I've got a question that it popped up into my mind, and it's kind of about Blacklight. But as far as I think the HRV, being able to see through the walls, when you guys were thinking about that, did you think about how that could have any effect on like cheats in the game? Because that kind of is a cheat, so maybe that could have like a positive effect in kind of neutralizing hackers to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, if you give someone, I mean, people are lazy, right? So if you give them something that they want, they're not going to try to break your game.
Right.
I don't think we ever had an issue with wall hacks in Tango. So, but the big thing is, it'll come out and people go, okay, they gave me wall hacks, but now I want to fly and I want my bullets to go through the walls. So they'll go from wall hack. And so they'll just go straight to the really shitty stuff. So yeah, well, I mean, and we've got a lot of really good. We're using Punkbuster, so we're definitely going all out on making sure that it can't be hacked and it can't have the really nasty bugs or just I played Combat Arms for a while, 2 years ago when I first found this whole free-to-play thing, and it became unplayable because of all of the cheats and all of the hackers. And it's kind of a weird thing, and this is a thing that is going to be interesting with all of these new companies coming out that are free-to-play. I mean, with Perfect World, they've been doing free-to-plays in the U.S. for 8 years. They've been around for like 10, maybe longer actually, in China. And so, they've given us a lot of information. They've given us a lot of things to focus on with like the server structures and how to do all this stuff. Really the only other company that's been doing that is like a bunch of Chinese companies, Nexons and stuff like that. And all of their developers are in Asia or Europe. There really aren't any Western game developers that have done a free-to-play yet. And so you've got MechWarrior, you've got Firefall, you've got, every game under the sun. PlanetSide. All of these games that haven't done free-to-play yet. And so we'll see what happens with it. I mean, it'll be really interesting because everyone's going to try to put their own spin on the microtransaction thing. And everyone's going to put their own spin on, how to, get people to grind and do all that stuff. Like, I just saw a deal for, not PlanetSide, but Tribes, where you pre-order it and you get something that's like, wait, you pre-order free to play. And I'm trying to figure that one out. And if they get it, that's great. I'm going to make everyone pre-order Blacklight. And get like a gold something. I don't know what. Maybe, I mean, what is it? Was it? It seems like all I have to do is paint something gold to get someone to pre-order something the way that most games look. So, another exclusive gold-plated something when you pre-order Blacklight.
Nice.
Shit, I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
We'll be reporting on that tomorrow on the site that you said that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. It's going to be a really, really interesting few years just with the entire industry. Like, I think it'll be very, very sad when you buy a $50 game for the single player experience and then you have a free to play connected to it for the multiplayer experience. Like, that's honestly what I see is going to happen. And it's going to be really fucked up. Because it's not only going to be like free to play, they're going to go, you buy the game for $60, you can now pay us money the way free to play works and get everything front loaded, but we're still going to charge you $15 for the DLC, or we're going to charge you like a monthly subscription, to, get on our servers or something like that. Like there's a lot of things that are happening. And it's all going to fall on top of each other, and gamers are going to be spending like $250 per game a year. And it'll most likely be mandatory. And it's really, honestly, it's kind of scaring me because, that's just the way that it goes, with it. And, like, a certain game that is, doing really, really well, and they're trying to figure out how to milk the player, for more, it really sucks because without those kids, that honestly don't, I mean, they're spending all their money to, try to make their YouTube channels big. And
hey, wait a minute.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah. And I mean, it'll be really interesting. I don't know. It's gonna be really strange to see what happens if some of the bigger studios or if some of the bigger publishers break that seal and go, single player is $60, the free to play is connected to it. We're still going to charge you for DLC. We're going to charge you a monthly subscription for X or Y, and you also have to pre-order it. And honestly, I think if there's a business exec listening right now, he's probably got a boner.
You just gave him a beautiful business plan.
He's like, oh my god, this is the best business plan I've ever heard. Can we have like a special? Can we just sell a special edition box every month, also with the DLC? And it'll be interesting. I mean, I think that like the Blizzard deal, Blizzard is making so much money, but they're doing it right. They're not screwing their fans over. Too bad.
I don't think you hear anyone complaining about their WoW subscription.
Yeah, like I play WoW, and I just went ahead and got another year of WoW and got the quote-unquote free Diablo 3 deal for doing that. But I don't feel bad about it because I was going to play WoW anyway, and now I get a free game.
Yeah, and most likely you were going to get Diablo, so it's like, holy crap, this is a perfect deal, and it's the same kind of with like Valve. I mean, Valve did not have to make Team Fortress free to play. Right. And they did, and they made a lot of money on top of that, but still it's like they could do, other things, and they are doing other things. I mean, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with Dota, and how they're going to, I mean, that's probably going to be an amazing game. And so it's just there's really these shining stars that are doing essentially the right thing, and then there's these other corporations that are like, okay, we didn't make enough money on our Green Lantern game because we gave them 6 months to make the stupid game, and now we need to make that money back. Let's make 6 more DLC packs and charge people an arm and a leg for it. Fuck, I'm gonna get killed by Activision tonight.
They're coming for you tonight.
The whole time you're saying that.
They got a scope trained on you as soon as we hang up.
It sucks because I love Call of Duty. I really do. I just have too many kids, and I don't like paying for DLC all the time, and I really don't want to have to pay for a monthly subscription either, because I'm buying the game, and and then once again, Glasshouse, how dare I say this stuff because I'm making a free to play, and people can, spend a crap load of money on this game. So
they can also spend nothing though. So
yeah,
there's that option.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm so gonna get murdered. I'm never gonna be able to work for Activision.
Don't worry. If need be, we can blow this. Yeah. This never happened.
Well, you should have heard our other podcast because we're not getting hired by anybody.
Particularly
Ubisoft. Ever going.
Well, you would never want to work for the French.
We've had some. I think we've ranted about DRM every podcast, so I think we'll leave it alone on this one. But we're about the hour 35, hour 40 mark. So I just wanted to thank you again, Jared, for coming on. It's been great. And then I wanted to give you an opportunity too, real quick, before we close out. Did you just want to let everyone know as far as we talked about Thursday a little bit, but just kind of what the deal's going on.
So it'll
Thursday.
probably. I mean, if it airs on Wednesday, so it'll be tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I'll get you guys a bunch of beta keys too.
Awesome.
So you can spit some out.
Cool.
Go to we'll also go to playblacklight.com to register. Follow me and mostly Andy Kipling, because Andy Kipling gets really excited whenever he gets a new Twitter follower. It's fucking adorable. He actually sent me a text about how he got a bunch of new Twitter followers today, so it was really cool for him.
Poor Andy getting dumped on. Can't join a BF3 game.
I'm gonna go follow him, and I got 14,000 plus.
There you go.
You need to, because I think it would just be great if he had a shitload of Twitter followers, so then he could feel whole. Oh fuck. Just check out the game, and we'll be going through all of our beta phases. Right now we're closed beta. We're going to go to open beta, and we'll get more keys out there, and just be patient if you don't have a beta key. And then we're going to be releasing around the sometime next year. Once it's all dialed in, we're really happy with it.
Awesome.
That's the best answer, when it's ready, folks.
Yeah.
I love that. It's awesome. All right. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
Later.
See ya.
Hello, gents, and thanks once again for tuning into the podcast this week. If you need to find the podcast, you can find it on podbean.com, our front page, or search iTunes for KBMOD. If you need your PC gaming fix during the week, you can go to kbmod.com or follow us on Twitter at KBModGaming. We'll see you next week, guys.